Well, I just want to welcome everyone here, and we've got some exciting news today. According to the U.S. Census annual census, Georgetown has been named the fastest growing city of residents over 50,000 in the entire United States. That's both exciting and frightening all at once. As we know, with growth comes a lot of pressures in terms of keeping up with infrastructure, water, wastewater, our roads, public safety, and making sure that we can keep our town the same wonderful place that is drawing people here. And we believe that we can do that. We are working extremely hard to do that. But also, don't want to just whine and complain about this. I want to take a moment to thank all of the people who for many, many generations have done what it takes to make Georgetown the type of place that people want to move to. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into creating an environment and creating a community that draws people here. My wife and I moved here 15 years ago because we wanted a place where we could raise our family, send our kids to school, work, live, play, all in the same community. And to do that, we've got to have great neighborhoods, great jobs. We've got to have a thriving downtown and make this a place that families want to come to. And obviously that's working because they are coming. We grew over 10% in the last year. And so lots of people recognize the same thing we do, that Georgetown's a wonderful place to live. And we welcome them. In fact, our new slogan is that they are more than welcome in Georgetown, Texas. And so we look forward to many more years of growth and happy to answer any questions that y'all may have.
What do you think it is that is drawing folks to Georgetown right now?
Sure, I think that Georgetown is still relatively affordable. I think that's a huge factor in the growth that we've seen compared to obviously other states. But even in the Central Texas region, we're still very affordable. Though folks have seen their property values increase, by 40, 50% in some places. We're still drawing folks here. We have a lot more land to build into. We're still in kind of the teenage years of our growth cycle. We've got a lot more territory to expand into. And so, we are seeing houses go up as fast as they can go up. And folks are looking for a more affordable option to live. But I also think that it's about the community, that we are a distinct community. We're not a suburb of any city, and we want to maintain that culture, that mentality. And when you talk to folks that they have the option to live anywhere in the state or anywhere in Central Texas, and they're looking around and they see housing prices, housing inventory, and then they come to Georgetown and they see our town square, they see our school district, and they see that we just have this distinct culture that draws people here. And folks looking for that small town feel within a city that has all the amenities that you could ask for. I think that's what's really drawing folks here.
You mentioned that with growth is exciting and also scary. For some residents who have some concerns maybe from this news, how is the city planning to address those concerns, or what are some daily things that you guys are doing to consider their viewpoint? Yeah, no, absolutely. One thing that we've tried to talk to people about is growth is inevitable due to the marketplace and the economy and Texas state law that pretty much prohibits cities from stopping growth. And so the only question is, do you manage the growth and deal with it, or do you just get swallowed up by it? And so what we believe is you've got to address the pressure points of growth, which are public safety, roads, and utilities. And we are working nonstop to keep up on all of those. We're adding law enforcement and fire personnel every single year. We have undertaken a huge road bond project to address traffic issues. We've undertaken the largest project in the city's history, a new water treatment plant to make sure that we've got plenty of clean water for folks. And we're working on our wastewater as well, just to make sure that we can have enough housing inventory on the ground to hopefully bring down demand and lower the prices and the inflation that we've seen in the real estate market.
What about electric capacity? That seems to be like a statewide problem. What do you do to make sure that there's enough for everyone in the future?
Sure, yeah, we have got plenty of electric capacity. We've had some issues with our electric utility in the past that we possibly had, or we did have too much capacity. And so we have some long-term energy contracts that are going to provide, more electricity than we need right now, to be honest. And so one of the things that we're looking for in terms of economic development is users who are heavy power users, data centers, 24/7 manufacturers, folks like that, who are using a lot of electricity and using it especially in off-peak hours is extremely advantageous to us. And so, we think that now the grid, whether we can do anything about the statewide grid and control rolling blackouts, unfortunately we found out during Winter Storm Uri that that's, an impossibility. But I will say that even during Winter Storm Uri, the aspects of the electric utility that we could control within our city limits and electric service territory, we did a great job. We did not have folks going down because of internal issues. We were mainly impacted by the rolling blackouts throughout the state.
As a follow-up to her question about infrastructure and maybe concerns, I know that something that draws people to Georgetown, as you mentioned, is the small town charm, the small town feel. What is the city's general plan to work on preserving that feeling of a small town, even as we're experiencing this massive growth?
Yeah, I think that, one, public safety is first and foremost, and folks have to feel safe in their community, in their homes, in their neighborhoods. And so we are always going to be very aggressive in funding police, fire, and making sure that we maintain public safety. That's a no-brainer. And then I think, to be real blunt, sitting in traffic doesn't have small town charm feel to it. And so addressing roads and streets is of utmost importance, and we are spending a lot of time and money doing that, and trying to figure out different ways to move people around so that they're not sitting in traffic. But I also think that it's more of a cultural feel that creates that atmosphere. And the heart of our community is the square, the downtown square. And we, folks will tell you that when they come to Georgetown and they're considering moving here or even moving their business here from another state, and they're looking at different options, and then they get down on the square on an afternoon like today and they're sold. They're in, and then they see how, that area is just the heart of our community, and how, you run into everybody down there all the time, and it just feels like a small town. But one of the things that we're doing is we're looking at kind of our citywide programming in terms of, we've got our famous Red Poppy Festival and other events going on throughout the year, but taking a big picture look at all of those events and programs to make sure that we are utilizing those to the best of our ability to kind of create that small town feel. And I think lots of folks will point to those events as reasons why they feel like they still live in a small town.
What about jobs? What kind of employers are drawing people to Georgetown area?
Sure, we have added literally thousands of jobs in the last couple years. We've just announced largest private employer in the city will be over 2,000 jobs, CellLink. They're a supplier to Tesla and other electric vehicle manufacturers. And so one of the things that we've seen is that, with everything going on in Austin, Tesla and other things on the horizon there, that a lot of the employers and companies who are related to what's going on in Austin, but need to get far enough away from Austin that they can get into a different labor shed, we see them wanting to locate here because we are at basically the southernmost portion of a northern labor shed that goes from about Georgetown up to Waco. And so, any able-bodied person in Austin that wants to work, Tesla's got 10,000 jobs. And so the affiliates of Tesla need to get far enough away from Tesla that they can get into a different labor pool, but they can still also be close enough to do business with, one of their main customers. So we're seeing lots of those folks. We've put a heavy emphasis on advanced manufacturing, light industrial here in Georgetown, and we've got millions of square feet of that in the works. and every single one of those projects is bringing a lot of jobs. And so I think you're going to see continued movement of folks into Georgetown to fill those positions, because they're all really, really good jobs that we hope that, you know, our kids can graduate and go to work directly or go to college and come back to Georgetown and make this place their home, and that new folks can move here and have a great job and make a great living.
Do we see more remote workers also? People that can bring their job with them?
Absolutely, absolutely. We talk all the time. One of the communities on the western edge of our ETJ is the Santa Rita neighborhood. And Santa Rita made a big deal about the fact that they ran fiber out to that neighborhood, you know, almost 10 years ago. And everybody was kind of wondering why they did that, because it was a primarily residential neighborhood. Well, it turns out they were some of the smartest people in Central Texas, because now you got, you know, 2,000 home offices that popped up during COVID, and I don't know if and when they're going away. And so folks can, you know, can work remotely, and they don't need to be, you know, at an office in Austin or at an office in California even. They can come here and for a much lower cost of living, live here in Georgetown and work remotely.